So this is our Natural Solutions Wellness Workshop, and we really want to be able to customize this for you. And so there's things that we want to share that are foundational to health, but I want you to look at this image here and look at the numbers. What do you want less of in your home? Whether this is for maybe you're struggling with or somebody in your household is struggling with, and just put in the chat, if you'll just put the number of the one, any of them, like if all of them, great, put all the numbers. If there's something that's high on your list, will you put that in the chat, just the number? And this will help us to kind of customize the class. We want to make sure that we're making this relevant for you and what you're dealing with or somebody in your household might be dealing with. We really want to talk about this approach of modern approach versus natural approach. In the United States, and I don't know how it is in Australia, but in the United States, we spend over $6.5 trillion each year on healthcare. Oh, I guess that's global healthcare, but I think the number is old. And we're really not getting any healthier. We're not getting to the root cause of some of these challenges that we're dealing with. And so the modern approach versus the natural approach is often that the modern approach may mask the problem. It's like putting a Band-Aid on the symptom, right? Versus getting to the root cause. And the natural approach, like using doTERRA essential oils and other natural products, that your body knows what to do with it and quickly puts it to work. So when you have allergies that flare up during the day, but you can't take another allergy pill for hours, you'll be grateful to have oils on hand to help relieve symptoms when you need it. Or when one of your kids has like an anxiety attack and they're away from home, they can quickly and discreetly recover from that. They can just grab an oil, put a drop in their hand and just breathe that in and take some really deep breaths and be centered. And you'll have peace of mind just knowing that they're equipped and empowered with tools right at their fingertips. So a lot of people skipped. So people are turning to doTERRA because they want safe, affordable, and effective solutions for their family's health. And these things that are backed by thousands of studies in PubMed. So let me share a few things about doTERRA that you might not know. So and go ahead and put in the chat if you're new to doTERRA, if like you're not familiar with doTERRA, just maybe put a 10 in the chat if you're not familiar with doTERRA. I don't know if you know this, but 90% of the people in doTERRA are customers. And doTERRA is a debt-free company that grew to $1 billion in 7 years. And that's the same rate that Apple grew. And the 7 founders of doTERRA have over 150 years of experience in this industry. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about kind of foundational health, but also a little bit more about doTERRA and the approach that they're taking. So this is the wellness pyramid. It was created around foundational health principles that build on top of each other. And the top piece up here, this blue piece, the proactive medical care, that's what you do when you go to a doctor or a healthcare professional. This is usually what we think of when we say healthcare. However, if you look at the 5 other categories there that come first, there is so much more to healthcare than just getting sick and going to the doctor. It starts with smart lifestyle choices, and doTERRA has products that can help support each area of those lifestyle choices and changes that we might be trying to make in our lives that influence the quality of our life. So think of it kind of like those Jenga blocks. And if you take those blocks, from the ones from the bottom, the foundational pieces, the whole thing topples, right? So that's the same with our health. It starts with nutrition, getting in the nutrients that we need, and digestion, which is the absorption of those nutrients. And this is what every cell of our body is made from. And then you move up to movement and metabolism. And metabolism is that conversion of those nutrients that are absorbed to energy so they can do all the work that our bodies need to be done. And so we are in this class, we're going to focus on foundations as well as natural products that will support all those different areas. So if you think about, I was having challenges with sleep. Sleep is one of those lifestyle things that will impact our health, but our sleep is also impacted by our nutrition and our digestion, our movement and our metabolism. So they all relate to one another, but we're really going to be talking about foundational pieces here. So we'll talk about nutrition. We'll touch on a little bit on digestion, metabolism, and we'll talk about essential oils that help support all of those and really where to get started. So I think Elise is going to share some fun stuff with us. You're muted now. Oh.
Okay, am I unmuted now? No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm trying to fix my screen. I'm seeing that it's blurry.
Sorry. Okay, are you going to share your screen again, or do you want me to share the slides?
I'm going to share again.
Okay. Well, I will start to talk while you start to share. So, Stacy, we talked in the beginning about what we want more of or less of, and gave us some good input as to how we want the rest of this class to go. But before we start to cater that to what you need, we need to address the foundational issue of what you're probably dealing with at the core. Because the goal is not to just put band-aids on what's going on, but to really help treat the body at a cellular level. And the three biggest enemies to feeling good are nutrient deficiency, inflammation, and toxic overload. And so a nutrient deficiency is just that. It's nutrition. It's making sure our diet, we're getting what we need. It's making sure that at the core, our body has the fuel that it needs. And then inflammation is a huge problem. And we'll talk about some of the things that it can cause. And then toxic load, if you're not familiar with that term, that is all those outside chemicals and different things that our body is bombarded with. Some of them we're in control of, and others we're not. But our body is just constantly being loaded by those. So let's look at nutrient deficiencies. I don't know about you. I do try to grow a garden. And I am a killer tomato grower. Like, I can grow tomatoes like nobody's business. Cucumbers were not my forte this year, and my corn did not do so great. Thank goodness for a farmer's market and good supplementation, because no matter how good we're eating, I'm going to argue with you that you are still going to be deficient. Right here, you can see that the Environmental Working Group in their study has shown that 95% of adults are deficient in vitamin D, vitamin E. Magnesium is a huge one that I wasn't aware of until just recently, as far as the things that it can affect within our body. Calcium for women with osteoporosis, vitamin A, vitamin C, so many things. Nutrition is our body's first line of defense. And if we don't have that base nutrition, our immune system is going to be weakened. I loved this statement that poor nutrition is the #1 cause of poor health. So we really need to look at what we are eating and just come to the realization that it's just not going to be enough. Let's see, in the last 75 years, just the content in our food, the quality of nutrients in our food has decreased by 20 to 30%. So even if we did grow a garden as good as our great grandma, we aren't going to be getting the same nutritional value because it's just not there. So we want to make sure we're supplementing. Now let's look at inflammation. Inflammation can sometimes be a buzzword. Maybe we don't always know what that is, that swelling. And sometimes we see it outwardly, right? We fall, we get a goose egg, break a leg. We see that inflammation exhibited on the outside, but inner inflammation is what's really going to be causing us some problems that we may not even be aware that that's the core problem. Sugars and the foods that we consume are two big bad boys when it comes to causes of inflammation. Different irritants in our environment, chemicals, alluding to toxic load, excess stress, and lack of sleep. My daughter, I have 3 daughters, and my 25-year-old daughter was having some really severe acute menstrual pain. Not like her normal thing. It was bad enough we really thought something was going on, and they were getting ready to move out of state. So I drove up to Logan, and we went to the doctor and checked everything out. Things seemed okay, but they wanted to do an ultrasound to figure out where that pain was coming from. And within 30 seconds, the ultrasound tech said to my daughter, "So how much water do you drink?" And she's like, "I was getting 32 ounces." And she said, "Your body is so dehydrated that your GI tract is inflamed. And then when you go to ovulate and that inflammation happens, there's not enough room in there and everything is hurting." So such a simple thing, drinking our water, that can help to deal with both chronic and acute inflammation. You can see the list here of different diseases and conditions that you might be dealing with that could come back to inflammation. So the next thing that we want to just touch on is the toxic load on the body. And like I alluded to before, we don't always have control over what we're exposed to, right? But at the same time, we need to be aware, and we need to do our very best to support the elimination organs that we have in our body. Now, I didn't love this statistic. It said 54% of women who work in their home are, women who work in their home are at a 54% higher risk of developing cancer than women who work outside of the home. This was the result of a 15-year study by the National Cancer Association. Why? Because we're home cleaning, we're home doing all the things, we're not outside in the fresh air. And so we need to take charge of that, right? We need to look at what we can be doing to freshen the air, to clean the air, and to reduce the toxins that we are using in our home. Once you've sprayed and inhaled a chemical cleaner, it only takes 26 seconds for that to be absorbed into your bloodstream. Like, have you ever thought about that? When you spray an air freshener or toilet bowl cleaner or whatever it is, within 26 seconds, those toxins they're not just cleaning your laundry or freshening your air, they're in your bloodstream. Now, we lock that cabinet underneath the sink with toddler locks when our kiddos are little, but we get in there all the time. And we need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves just like we would our toddlers to keep them from being poisoned. We need to make sure we are not slowly poisoning our bodies with those toxins. And I'm passing the baton.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. Sorry.
Thanks, Elise. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about the supplements. So we're going to take a quick look at the supplement industry before we take a peek at the first health solution based on all the awesome news that Elise just gave us. So first, we want to have you guys pop in the chat. Go ahead and just comment in there if you're using a supplement, whether it's a multivitamin, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, whatever. If you're using any supplements, you can go ahead and just comment those in the chat. I'd like to see where we're at. And if you're not using any supplements, go ahead and put that as well. I guess the chat working. Yes. Yes. What are you taking, Caleb or Marley? Using supplements. Are they multivitamin supplements? Is it like very targeted, certain vitamin, mineral? You can post that in there. LV, lots of people using that. All right. I'm a doTERRA girl now. What a difference. Thanks, Terry. That's awesome. Apple cider vinegar, vitamin D, LV. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for sharing. So now I want you to think about, if you've been taking, vitamins, are you confident that your supplements are doing what the label says they're going to do for you. You may be like I was, and I say, I'm really not sure, but I'm taking them because I'm supposed to. I just remember getting the bottle of multivitamins from Costco for prenatal vitamins, and I take them because I'm supposed to, right? Wasn't sure if it was doing anything. Well, let's go ahead and take a peek into the supplement industry. Did you know that a study by the FDA from 2007 to 2016 detected contaminants in 776 dietary supplements produced by 146 different companies? So that's important because it wasn't just one manufacturer. This is across the board. That should be alarming. And the next thing that should be also be alarming as you look at that graphic is that the study of the 3 leading memory supplements found that 2 out of those 3 did not even contain the active ingredient that was listed on the bottle. So if you've had some reservations, some hesitation as to knowing, is this working or you're not, you're really not alone, and this supports many people's concerns. So it's also worth noting that the supplement industry is not heavily regulated. A friend of ours worked for a nutritional store, and he asked, do you know that if somebody comes in and grabs 10 random supplements and tests them and the active ingredient is not found in those bottles, how long does the store have to get those products off the shelf? They have 9 months. 9 months. And he said, you bet they're going to go ahead and sell through all of those before actually just taking them off the shelf. So now we know that we need to take something, right? We need to supplement so we're not deficient. And we've shown that it might be difficult to know if you're getting what your body needs if you're supplementing. So that's where Lifelong Vitality, a lot of you have put that in there, that you're using that. And doTERRA really has an amazing solution. In fact, this is their #1 product is Lifelong Vitality supplements. And as we've seen that 96% of Americans are deficient in one or more essential nutrients. And so a simple, effective solution to have in your daily routine is to incorporate Lifelong Vitality. And why I love this supplement is this is highly absorbable. It's high quality supplements that addresses poor nutrition, inflammation, and toxic load. This product line provides your body with the micronutrients for foundational health purposes, right? And it also contains powerful antioxidants to help protect your DNA. It's made from whole food ingredients. Many of the vitamins and minerals are fermented, so your body actually recognizes it as food. And people have experienced less pain and inflammation, more energy and balanced mood from taking these. And I'm going to show you some people's experiences, but also some of the science behind that. It's gotten more people off of their over-the-counter and prescription drugs than any other product. And doTERRA feels so strongly about the Lifelong Vitality supplement that they actually give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can return the bottles 100% empty and get your money back if you haven't experienced these changes from taking it. This is where I first started in my journey with doTERRA. I was dealing with chronic sinus infections, migraines. I was having miscarriages, low mood, and I had done like a lot of traditional things, a lot of medications. I had had surgery. I had been in the ER, and I tell you that pill for migraines, it worked fabulous, but the side effects and the costs were crazy. And then coming along Elise, and she shared some things for me for allergies, some essential oils for allergies, and that piqued my interest into like actually Googling my list of conditions and what were some other things that could be contributing. What was maybe the root cause? And it really came up to nutritional deficiency, toxins, and inflammation. And as I started taking those, probably within 45 to 60 days, like all of those things went away, all of them. And so that was really mind-blowing to me. And I know we have Terry. Terry, I don't know if you're willing to share your experience, if you're able to unmute, but when you're on, I think of Lifelong Vitality, I think of you. So Terry is also here in Utah, and she's a nurse and has had health challenges and whatnot. And can you share your experience with Lifelong Vitality?
Sure. Gosh, I don't know, because I have a whole list, but the biggest one was one of my autoimmune disorders is pancreatic insufficiency. The medication that I have to take for that is called Creon. It's a pancreatic enzyme, and it costs over $1,600 a month. And I just couldn't afford that. And so I decided I'm going to, give this Terrazyme a chance to see if that would work. And with my doctor's permission, I said, can I take this? And she said, yeah, let's give it a try. And it works great. I haven't had any issues. Usually with my pancreatic insufficiency, if I did not take the Creon, I would get pancreatitis and end up in the ER in the hospital for a few days. So I could not live without that. But now I have Terrazyme and I am thrilled. So that's one piece of my story.
One piece of your story. Yeah. And so just recognizing the power of supplements, that we have things that we can use to help support us. I don't know if there's anybody else on, like with Lifelong Vitality, or you're welcome to capture that screen, but these are just some people's experiences with Lifelong Vitality, with mood, digestion, sleep, bronchitis, allergies, like the whole gamut. And one of the reasons why is we're getting to the foundational root, right? Like if we're able to give our bodies nutrients that they need, it will help with the reduction of that inflammation. It can also help to eliminate toxins from our body. One of those, this is a picture of my friend who had some challenges. She had an inflammatory response to an antibiotic and couldn't get rid of this rash. Like it was all over her body and she was miserable, and tried all the creams and stuff the doctors were giving her, and just, it was not going away. And she started using the Lifelong Vitality. And she said within a few days, she started to see the inflammation slowly going away. And so it's pretty powerful, the things that we can do to impact our health.
Can I ask Carrie how much she's taking of the Terrazyme?
That's been something that I've had to kind of figure out. And it was the same way when I was on my pancreatic enzymes, about, it was kind of a juggling act, but I just take one with every meal.
Okay. So
that's
like
all.
2 or 3 times a day?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. So not just experiences people are having, but also clinical trials. So I want to show you the science of this as well. So if you're currently taking supplements, ask yourself, are they clinically researched? Lifelong Vitality supplements have gone through clinical trials to prove their effectiveness. So subjects took the Lifelong Vitality supplements for 2 months and continued with their normal diet and exercise. So they didn't change anything else. And they had statistically significant improvements in their blood lipids, fasting insulin, cardiovascular markers like CBC, blood lipids, blood sugar, their echocardiograms, their electrocardiograms, reduced triglyceride levels in the blood, cellular inflammation went down. They had positive effects on their biochemical indicators of cardiovascular health, antioxidants, inflammation, blood glucose. And then they reported overall improvements in their mental clarity, energy, motivation, control, balance, happiness. I mean, that is just crazy. If you go back to the things that you're wanting to experience less of and think of on your list of things, what could just Lifelong Vitality, getting the nutrients that your body need, help you to deal less with in your life, right? And especially over time. So this has helped more people get off, like I said, their prescription and over-the-counter medications than any other product. So I just want you to be thinking about that. And also, they have an amazing price range. So they work out to be $28.33 a bottle when you purchase them in the 3-pack and a monthly order of that. And eventually, over time, they get to where they're only $22 a bottle when you factor in doTERRA's reward program, where they give you points back. So that is a really good deal. And I consider Lifelong Vitality part of my food budget. It's like, I just need the nutrients, right? So another thing that we need to think about, I think Faye's going to be talking about this.
Yep. Sugar in the body, right? And diabetes. So it's time for a little quiz in the chat. If you could put, what is the percentage increase in diabetes cases in America since 1960? What do you think? What percentage increase? let's see.
You mean like 10%?
Yeah, like, okay, 400%, guess. 70%, 75%. Elise says, I don't even dare to guess. 86%. These are great guesses. Unfortunately, it's increased by over 700%. Crazy, right? Yeah. Horrible. And then how long do you think it takes the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in 1 year? How long does it take the average American to now consume that same amount? Go ahead, put it in the chat.
Well, 1 day.
1 day, 2 weeks, 1 month.
I tell you, that's Caleb with the 1 day. I think Caleb should have, because that kid can just chug it.
Right, maybe, exactly. Well, what we found on average, it's still not good, but not as bad as 1 day, is 2 weeks. So the same amount that used to take a year, we're now consuming in 2 weeks. And a lot of this is not even like added sugar. It's the sugar that's in all the packaged and canned foods and drinks. So this is definitely something to look at. And now let's look at how many people are affected by poor cardiometabolic health. So many people are affected by poor metabolic health, or sometimes it's referred to as cardiometabolic health, which also negatively impacts our whole body. Only, as you see on the slide, 6.8% of the US population has optimal metabolic health. So that means more than 93% of us do not have optimal cardiometabolic health. And what that means is that these individuals have at least one or more of the following: carrying too much excess weight. And a great way to measure this is waist to hip ratio. Also, having high blood glucose levels, high blood lipid levels. This includes cholesterol as well as triglycerides, blood pressure that's out of range, and a history of cardiovascular events. So basically what this is saying is that everyone you love is or will most likely be impacted by this. This means yourself, your parents, your spouse, your kids, grandkids, your friends. It's an epidemic.
Can I add just one little thing to what you're saying?
Hmm.
Because I heard something the other day that really struck me very hard. And it basically said that pancreatitis is too much sugar in the pancreas. Liver, what's it called? Cirrhosis of the liver is too much sugar in the liver. Too much sugar in the thyroid is cancer, thyroid cancer. So basically, it was running down all these chronic illnesses and basically attributing them to too much sugar in that body part. And it did definitely have an impression.
Definitely contributes, and there are other factors, but sure. Yes, definitely. And fortunately, even though we have a huge problem, we have a solution, and it's the MetaPower metabolic system. And it contains several different products. The system is specifically designed to tackle poor cardiometabolic health. And this is your macronutrient line. It pairs wonderfully with the Lifelong Vitality supplements, which Stacy was talking about, which is our micronutrient line. And so together we're tackling both nutrition and metabolism. The MetaPower line does basically 3 things. It addresses cellular repair that leads to aging, addresses blood sugar regulation, and supports the inhibiting of fat absorption into our cells. It also actually inhibits new fat cells from forming. So it's really nice how together, right, it's addressing a lot of our foundational cellular health problems. The average American spends the last 14 years in a state of declined health and difficulty completing everyday tasks. The MetaPower system is the first and only system that synergistically provides support for a healthy metabolism, curbing cravings, sustaining normal range glycemic and insulin responses throughout the whole day, and naturally promoting cellular energy. And people that use this product line have reported improvements in lots of different areas: improved eyesight, energy, pain, decreased neuropathy, improved sleep, improved skin, hair growth, mood, better mood, mobility, less inflammation, and improved strength, including increase in muscle mass and bone. In fact, an 8-week placebo-controlled double-blind clinical study showed that the MetaPower system activates our longevity genes. That's pretty cool. It also reduced the depth of wrinkles by 10.3%, reduced blood lipids by 11.5%, and reduced inflammatory markers by 22.3%. So this is definitely a whole system answer that supports our foundational cellular health. And if we go to the next slide, what's really nice is that we can actually see the aging reversed with people, with individuals using MetaPower. On the slides on the left, you can see the decrease in wrinkles on the mouth area, as well as on the neck from day 1 to day 60. And I love this one on the right with using Lifelong Vitality and MetaPower. Her hair was was predominantly gray, and then increasingly going back to her natural black hair color. And then here's just a few other examples. You can see in the middle, just the changes in the inflammation and weight loss, but also notice just like skin, the glowing of the skin. And the legs up in the top left are actually the same person. And for 2 weeks, she put MetaPower oil, rubbing it on her legs. And you can see the difference in size. And I love the gentleman in the bottom left. I mean, this was pretty amazing. You can see like the decrease in inflammation and the improved elasticity, darker hair color. But what blood work showed was 40-point decrease in cholesterol, 5-point decrease in HDL, 25-point decrease in LDL, and a 57-point decrease in triglycerides. Pretty amazing. And collagen nowadays is a big buzzword, but the question is, do we need it? And where do we even start? Well, one thing to consider is that collagen is the most abundant protein in our body. And after the age 25, our production of collagen decreases. And by the time we're 50, our bodies are producing about half as much collagen as we used to. So a lot of those effects that you saw in the pictures that I just showed were examples of collagen deficiency. And by using our MetaPower Advantage and supplementing with the collagen, it's making a big difference. And there's a few things that I like to highlight with Advantage. And one is it's collagen plus a compound called NMN. Tonight, we're not going to go into this, but know that NMN has a lot to do with cellular energy, with our cells producing more energy, and that allows our body to do all the things that it needs to do. Now, some other highlights about the product. MetaPower Advantage contains 9 types of collagen. Most of the collagens on the market have maybe 1, 2, at the most 3 different types of collagen and focuses mostly on collagen for skin. With the 9 different types, the MetaPower Advantage is targeting many different areas in the body. And it's over 70% tripeptides. And so what that means is it's much more highly absorbable than other products on the market. In fact, it's about 12 times more absorbable. And it comes in these small packets and it's freeze-dried. It's combined with water and is not active or activated until you combine with the water and then drink immediately. And so it's just much more bioactive and absorbable. Clearly, not all collagens on the market are created equal, all right? So the collagen in NMN also, here's some highlights of what it does. It promotes healthy biological aging and improves health span by helping our aging cells. It activates our longevity genes, improves cognitive functioning, supports lean muscle mass and connective tissue, including bone mass, and improves skin density, elasticity, and firmness. Now, if you love science and want to learn more about not only the MetaPower, but also lifelong vitality, we do have a deep dive class workshop replay that we can send you. And so you could put in the chat or reach out to the person that invited you, and we'll be happy to get that replay out to you. I just wanted to give a chance, if it's okay, if we have time. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
I am a diabetic, and I was on 2 diabetes medications. And by taking the MetaPower, I was actually able to get off of one of my medications. And I am working towards getting off the second one too.
That's awesome. Yes. Just powerful when we get those nutrients in our bodies. Like, our bodies are miraculous, what they'll do. We're just going to quickly go into essential oils. We'll cover some of those, maybe highlight some of the major ones that most people will want to have in their home to support in different ways. But we do want to bring to your awareness that there is a difference in essential oils. So this was a study done independently by Roseman University health science team. Researchers had purchased doTERRA essential oils and began testing them in research models. And the research showed that doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, metabolic health, and healthy inflammatory response. And then they also found that essential oils from different competitors had minimal effect because they had purchased from, most of the major brands. And that is something that makes doTERRA different. Because the oils are pure, there's no synthetics, no fillers, no added ingredients, no dilution. And independent lab tests show the majority of brands available to consumers aren't pure. And if we go back to that slide, or if you watch the replay, if you want that, if you take a picture of that QR code, that will show you the research that we've been citing throughout all of this. If you take a picture or a screenshot of that, if you wanted to take a look at it. And doTERRA does over 54 tests that either independent or in-house that they do on these oils to confirm that they are safe to use, that they are potent, and that you're going to get the result that you're looking for. And so people turn to doTERRA because they want safe, affordable, and effective solutions for their family's health. So we're going to just talk briefly about these. The first one is safe. And who was sharing about safe? Marley.
Yes, I got it. Okay. Could you switch the slide for me? Thank you. Okay, awesome. All right, yeah. So just really quickly about safety. So people usually come to doTERRA because they're looking for something safe to use without having to worry about dangerous side effects or risk of addictions that can come with, medication and typical medicine. So she just talked about kind of the independent lab tests that show that 80 to 90% of oils on the market have contaminants and synthetic markers. So we suggest never actually ingesting another brand of oils. So many of doTERRA oils are safe to ingest. That's a question I get a lot of the time, which is interesting, but many of them are safe. And you can see on here the supplement facts label. So if it has that label, then it's safe to ingest. And then we can move on maybe to that next slide. So this is just kind of a story. Well, first of all, okay, so doTERRA, their oils go through 54 in-house testing, different tests, and then also third-party tests as well. So independent testing to ensure purity and potency before they're actually deemed safe to use. We went on a tour in the doTERRA facility where they showed that they have their labels like locked up, like in a separate room, because they don't want any other company to be able to use their labels because they have been deemed safe and they have the CPTG tested grade label on there. So no other essential oil company in the world puts this kind of care into making sure that every drop is completely safe for your kids to your grandma. So here we can see these photos of this girl, and this young girl, she had gone to her grandma's house and they were used to using lavender oil and putting that on their skin before bedtime. But she didn't have any in her cabinet. So she reached for a different brand of lavender essential oil, thinking that it would be the exact same. And this happened. She got these burns on her skin. So she got some chemical burns and still has scars or had scars almost a year later after this. So that's crazy. So this kind of thing doesn't happen when you're using doTERRA essential oils. We can promise you that. So yeah, you can be assured that you are getting the ideal chemistry with the highest health benefits. And they, like I said before, they're safe to use on babies to old people. So yeah.
Thanks, Marley. Now we're going to talk.
So now let's talk about. Oh, you got it.
No, you got it.
Talk about affordability. I think a lot of people lean toward more affordable healthcare options. We actually had Terry give us an example earlier. But believe it or not, that is the reason why a lot of people will turn to doTERRA. It's important to note that oils are 50 to 70% more potent than herbs. So that means a little bit goes a long way. So let's do a little math. Each 15 milliliter bottle, which is the size here, has about 250 drops of essential oil in it. And one dose to treat something is usually 1 to 2 drops. On average, it's about $1 or less per treatment. So to use a real life example, let's look at how it works. So what is your copay? You can put it in the chat if you want, or just think about it. So what's your copay? How much are you typically paying for prescriptions? How much time is it taking you to go through the process? So if you had a child that had an ear infection, typically you're going to take your child to the doctor and get prescribed an antibiotic. With essential oils in your home, you can first respond with 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of tea tree around the ears 2 to 3 times. And I notice I said around the ears. You never want to put it directly in your ears. I like to dilute it with coconut oil. But in most cases, that ear infection will completely clear up pretty quickly, and it will cost you less than $1 in oils, and it will save you a lot of time. Even if you have a $0 copay, using essential oils is less than it would take you to spend in gas to get to the doctor's office. I don't know what gas is like in your area, but it's $6 here. So kind of crazy. Not to mention that you also probably need to take time off work. There might be side effects of the antibiotics. Yes, I am in California. Saw that comment pop up. And also exposure to other illnesses while you're waiting in the doctor's office. So there's a lot to it. So let's take a quick break. This time I do want you to use the chat and make a guess. A recent test of Costco peppermint oil showed that it was not 100% peppermint oil. How much peppermint do you think is in the Costco peppermint oil bottle? What would you guess? Terry, the earate combination is lavender and tea tree.
Are you asking for like a percentage?
18%? Yep. Yeah, what's the percentage? So Caleb and Marley guess 50%, Segal 5%, Steph says 18%, Faye says 10%. Faye is the winner. There is only 10% of peppermint oil in the Costco peppermint oil. So when you use doTERRA, you're getting 100% of that oil, which makes it even cheaper comparatively.
Yeah.
So how effective is it? This is, I'm not really a science person, but this is one of my favorite microbiology lessons. Our body is made up of cells. I think everybody knows that. Each cell is surrounded by an oily membrane intended to keep the good stuff in and the bad out. So when you have a bacterial infection, see that little green blob on the left? You can get an antibiotic to help you because the bacteria grows on the outside of the cell. Viruses are different and proliferate on the inside of the cell. So guess what can go through that oily membrane to help tackle viruses? Essential oils, unlike most modern medicine, can penetrate that cell membrane and help to stop the duplication of a virus and support your immune system to heal even faster. Just because I find it interesting, check out the picture of the peppermint plant. The oil in doTERRA bottle is found in the oil sac, which is the plant's immune system. So if you look at that picture where it shows magnified, it shows a magnified view of the oil sacs. Plants need immunity just like humans do. These oil sacs protect the plant's health just like the oil does inside our bodies.
Okay. So hopefully you've learned some things about oils, learned about foundational health, but you might be like, have a million questions, especially if you're new to the essential oil world. What do I use? Which oil to use? How much do I use? Where do I put it? How often? All of that kind of stuff. And we take care of you. We're going to just highlight a few oils, probably like the top 10 really quick, and you'll be able to see it. You can screenshot it, but just know that we have a resource guide that we're going to talk about before we end and do our giveaway, so that you don't have to be an expert. You just need to know your ABCs. And then also know that we have our team of coaches, including myself and those who are teaching tonight, that will make sure that you have the resources and you know exactly what you need to know to address the things that you're working on in a more natural way. So we're going to cover immune support, medicine cabinet, pain, and like emotional sleep stuff really quickly with the oils, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right, so I get to do immune support. Which...
I think Bethany was actually going to do immune support.
Oh. But Elise, feel free to chime in.
So I'm sure you'll have things to add.
I confused Elise.
All right. These are the oils that just convinced me that I couldn't live without this stuff. Oregano, tea tree, On Guard, frankincense. I have an oregano story. I was suffering with some kind of sinus infection, and this was when I was pretty new to oils, but I knew oregano was powerful. And it had been days since I had felt like myself, and I was just about to like make that doctor's appointment and go get an antibiotic. And I made myself a cup of herb tea, and I put like a drop of oregano around the mug, and really just like your pinky around the mug. You don't want very much. But within 30 seconds of just breathing in the aroma and drinking the tea, I was like, wow, I already feel better. What is going on with this magic? So, and then oregano is really strong. So if that doesn't appeal to you, there will be other things that you can use instead. But you can use it for cooking, infections, viruses, warts. Tea tree is probably the oil that I use the most on other people in my house. It's great for all things fungal, any kind of infection, great for acne, cold sores, wounds, cuts. Ingrown toenails are the things I find myself using it the most for on my kids. If I trim the nails back and put tea tree, and that helps just clear up any infection. On Guard, don't leave home without it. On Guard is the protector, the natural immune defense. I carry it around with me and I share it with people. It comes in lots of forms. I'm sure everybody could talk a lot about On Guard. That's one of our top selling products, and it smells really good. It's a blend of clove and orange, rosemary. There's a lot of really nice things in On Guard, but there have been children who did science projects where they showed how On Guard literally killed germs. So I'm sure that's not, I'm sure I'm breaking some kind of FDA rule by saying that, but it's true. Frankincense is somebody going to chime in?
Well, I was just going to chime in quick on the On Guard. There have been several studies done that you can find on PubMed where they know the On Guard, like even just the vapor of On Guard kills influenza. So it's a very powerful synergistic blend when you're looking at wanting to stay healthy.
And I think because of the studies that have been done, we can now actually say that it does these things. So I think you're safe in it.
Wonderful. And then the last one, frankincense, we know is it's considered the king of oils. Frankincense enhances any other oil you use with it. So it's a booster too. Let's see, what does it say about frankincense? Renewing, beautifying, rejuvenating, grounding, reduces inflammation, relieves headaches. I should use that right now. Wonderful with peppermint and lavender, supports immune function. Apply topically. I often will put frankincense and lavender together and put on my face. Apply topically to reduce the appearance of skin imperfections. And it's gentle. So some other oils that you might use on your skin might have a little bit of you might feel it a little bit, but frankincense is really gentle. So really good for kids, etc. So that's my crash course.
And I think, Elise, you're talking about medicine basics.
Well, I wasn't sure how much Bethany was doing. I didn't know.
Sorry.
No, not a problem. So yes, so with our medicine cabinet, we're basically wanting to be able to look at the things that we would normally be going possibly to the doctor for, but we want to be able to have these things in our home all the time. And that's what's so cool about these essential oils. Lavender is literally your Swiss Army knife. It can do just about anything, everything. It's calming in all ways. So whether we're talking about redness, a sting, a rash, swelling, burns, a cranky toddler, it doesn't matter what it is, you're going to be able to get that calming effect. Lemon is cleansing. I just got done bottling 61 pints of salsa. Thank you. And I had burned tomato all over the kitchen, right? All over the stove and on a pan. And I pulled out my lemon oil and a little bit of baking soda. And there we go. We were clean. So lemon's great. And then peppermint is great for focus. It's great. It's also great for burns. I love to throw it on there onto a burn with the lavender. In fact, I was doing some haunted house costumes for a nonprofit, and the glue gun they gave me to use leaked out of the trigger. So I pushed to get the glue and it gooed. Yeah, I didn't have my oil. I had Deep Blue because I'd had a headache that morning and I literally rolled Deep Blue down my finger and the blister was gone. But it was because of the peppermint in there, right? Those three together are also great for seasonal threats, congestion, things that come with lots of pollen. And then you've got Digestin, that's going to be all things tummy oriented, whether it's not coming out the way you want it to, or when it went in, it didn't feel very good. If it's, anyway, all the things. It will make everything come out better. And then you've got Breathe, which is everything respiratory. We don't need to worry about if it's oh, what am I trying to think of? Whooping cough or croup or bronchitis or pneumonia or just a virus. If you can't get enough air in or your kids have too many boogers, stick some Breathe on. And you can put it on their feet or you can put it on their chest. So it's really a great way to just simplify the way you're taking care of your body. And just some quick testimonials. This gal, Cheryl, is talking about snoring at night, and my husband swears by a little bit of Deep Blue on the back of his neck. Again, the peppermint and the anti-inflammation, the Deep Blue stick with the copaiba in there. We'll get to that with pain, but it's great for snoring. I love these pictures of Stacy's little guy. Is this Quorum?
Yeah.
Or Jaron?
Quorum.
Quorum. He was it a bike or a scooter?
Bike, yeah.
Face planted. And you can see in 7 days they're in the gray striped shirt. He's good to go. But you can see the shoulder that they missed with the oils is still red. It's still irritated. It's still scabbed. It's still trying to heal on its own. And that's what the oils do. They give us the power to do just that little bit more. And I am just going to point out Caleb photobombing in the Thursday morning picture. It's my favorite part.
That's Caleb. Good job, buddy.
Okay, pain and inflammation. We definitely know that around here. So glad we have the Deep Blue products. Just think, soothing, calming for any type of pain, soothes aching muscles and joints, alleviates back pain, headaches, bruises, swelling, anti-inflammatory. And it comes in different forms. The oil, right, concentrated, mix it with fractionated coconut oil. You can put it like in a specific area that's bothering you. The Deep Blue rub is a cream, and so it's easier to cover larger areas. This is great pre and post workout, wonderful for back pain. I love to add copaiba to the Deep Blue products because the copaiba on its own is anti-inflammatory, increases the effectiveness of the other oils, and strengthens immunity, and also supports all the major systems in your body, including nerve, stress, anxiety. And so the combination of copaiba and Deep Blue is now in a very convenient form in our Deep Blue stick. And what's nice about that, it's great for keeping it on you, traveling with it, because you don't, with the cream, you have to rub it in. With the stick, it's really nice because you can just put it on and not even touch it if you don't want to get the oils on your hands.
It doesn't smell as much as the Deep Blue rub.
Yes. And think of Copaiba as our counterpart to CBD. But what's nice about the Copaiba, it works directly with the endocannabinoid. I know it's a little science, but the receptor sites on the cells and works directly with it, while CBD has to go through a few different processes. And also studies have shown the amount of that active ingredient in CBD can vary in products anywhere from nothing to maybe 35%, where doTERRA's Copaiba is consistently 55% or higher of those active ingredients. So definitely this is something you just want to always have on hand. You never know when those little accidents happen, or to use for more chronic situations.
And you can't beat the cost compared to CBD also.
Yeah.
So it's Sigal here, and it's time to talk a little bit about the emotional benefits of essential oils. All of the oils are working on us emotionally. When we inhale the oil, wherever it is, if it's from the bottle or we're putting a drop on our hands, in 22 seconds, it's getting into our brain. If we put the oils in a pulse point, in 2 minutes, it's in our bloodstream. And when we rub it on the bottom of our feet, after 20 minutes, it's in every cell in our body. So here we have 3 oils, 3 blends actually, that are supporting us emotionally. I use them every day. Balance. I have a morning routine that I start my day with balance in the morning, because I want to have a day where I'm focused, I'm grounded, I'm here and now, and not going to be all over the place. And I cannot not mention what's happening now in Israel. And this is like, it's horrible, whoever knows. And if you're praying, please pray for Israel and peace in the world. These 3 blends are my friends. They support me. I'm having a hard time going to sleep at night. I actually don't want to go to sleep. I want to be with my family, be with my friends. And these are not just smell good little potions. This is like serious emotional support. I take the Serenity. It's a blend that has lavender, vetiver, Roman chamomile, grounding and relaxing oils. I put a drop and I rub it here. And I rub it for a while, you know. I'm rubbing it on my chest in order to take all the heaviness, the yuckiness. I'm inhaling it. I'm rubbing it on. I'm not rubbing it, but I'm just putting it a little bit on my pillow. And I do a nightly ritual where I mix these oils on my feet so I can relax. And I can also put them, and you can do too, put them on your head, on your forehead, to calm the thoughts. Because many times when we go to sleep, it's quiet, nobody's interrupting, and the thoughts are popping up and starting to wanting to get attention. So I also put these oils in the diffuser half an hour before I go to sleep, to prepare the bedroom for sleep. So you can see here on the slide, it's for stress, balance, stress, jet lag. Every time after a flight, I use balance. I take it with me on the flight. I put it in my temples, under the nose. We have all these areas in the body that we can use the oils to support us. Depends on what we want to do. And the adaptive is amazing. If you are suffering a little bit or a lot from mood swings or very low mood, if you're having a hard time to adjust, to adapt, this is a perfect blend. It has a wild orange in it, which is helping with uplifting the mood, and it has lavender. And if you have mental fatigue, these are just amazing, amazing blends. And I feel that they are must in every home, because we all go through different stressors throughout the day, whether they're small or big, if we need to be on time somewhere, or there are major things that are happening. These are my friends. These are my therapists. Since I have the oils, I go less to therapists to get therapy, because I just work with them and they do amazing things for me. So I love it that I have a medicine cabinet and I can approach it and take whatever I need for my emotional needs, for my sleep, for my mood. And in a few seconds, I'm back and I can serve my community in the way I like to show up.
Thank you, Sigal, for sharing that. And for those that don't know, like, her whole team is in Israel. Her doTERRA community, her customers, her wellness advocates. And so just a lot of emotional things going on for those who are there, especially, and those who are just, connected there. So our prayers go out to you and everyone impacted over there. As we wrap this up, I appreciate you guys staying on longer with us. Just know that we have a resource guide. We have a book. If you don't have one, this is great to be able to look up the oils, because you're like, what do I do? If you got, for instance, peppermint, you can look up peppermint and it will tell you what to do with peppermint. Or if you have like a certain health challenge, it will tell you what to do for that health challenge. And there's also a great app. So you're not alone in what you're doing. I do want to share this. And Tony had been on, she's doing what's called Diamond Club, and she's able to offer some additional promos for those who don't have a customer account with doTERRA. So for those who did want to get started, you might want to take a snapshot of that promo code because you can get some additional awesome freebies depending on what you purchase. But you can get a Citrus Bliss for free, a diffuser for free, and all of these for free, and some other things. So you might want to take a picture of that. And that's good for the next 72 hours, so 3 days. Okay, so we're just going to be wrapping things up. I just want to say how grateful I am to be a part of doTERRA. It's just blessed our lives. It's been able to help us to impact a lot of people around the world. We have a global team of over 150,000 people who are being impacted by natural solutions. And I love getting to work with so many amazing people and work on my own schedule instead of having the full-time job that I used to have. And so I just want to bring that up, that we have an amazing team. And just know, you didn't bring this out, but if you're into oils, you're going to want this. So this is how you can take it along with you wherever you're at, traveling, in your purse, in a diaper bag, in your car, just everywhere. And if you're open to, you might have thought of people who could be benefited by this. And if you are open to hosting an event like this online or in person, just know that you can get one of these keychains with oils in it. And the ideal size is between 3 to 5 people. So just know that you can reach out to the person who invited you to this if that's something that you want to possibly do. And also, for those who are open to learning about what we do, like, we have followed a script. You don't have to be an expert. On average, most homes are looking for 7 streams of income, especially with inflation. So if you are open to learning how this could be part of your extra stream of income, or you know somebody that this might benefit, we do have an event coming up on Thursday that you're welcome to join, and just reach out to the person who invited you if that's something you want to do. But it's super easy. Like I said, we follow a script. You don't have to be like a scientist or professional, anything. And we have been able to keep it compliant in what oils can do. And we do have a great group online. If you're not connected to our wellness community, just ask about that so you can get connected. Okay, so we're going to be giving away my favorite product